Ladies and gentlemen, I'm the GOAT Picks, and I'm going to give you the best picks and the best predictions. UFC Fight Night, Las Vegas in the Apex Arena. We got Aljamain Sterling versus Youssef Zalal. I'm going to go over the main card, guys. Again, like and subscribe. We're slowly growing, so thank you to all my subscribers. So the first fight of the main card, we got Marcus Buchecha versus Ryan Spann. Marcus Buchecha, he's an elite world-class grappler and an amazing submission artist. He's fought top grapplers, and he's even grappled with Gordon Ryan, who is like the all-time great. But this is way different when it's compared to the UFC. But again, Buchecha's Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is on a whole different level than anything that Ryan Spann's gonna face. Spann's tough, you know, he's very dangerous too. He also can throw some really good strikes and has really good KO power. But again, he's been subbed by Anthony Smith, Krylov. They've all subbed Ryan Spann. And again, with Buchecha, I think he should just take this to the mat early. And I think it's going to be a tough fight for Ryan Spann if he can't defend the takedowns. If he can defend the takedowns, then it's going to be a whole different story. But I got to go with Buchecha. He's just an elite level of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And I think he's going to get Ryan to the mat. So give me Marcus Buchecha to win that fight.
Goes after the leg. He goes Ashigarami to the heel hook. That's quick.
Montel Jackson versus Renoni Barcelos. Let me just tell you guys one thing. Montel Jackson has a massive reach. It's 76 inches to 67 inches of a reach. That's a 9-inch reach. I mean, that should tell you right there who I'm going with. You know, Barcelos, he's 4 years older. He is on a hot streak. His main thing is, you know, he loves to put the pressure on the fighters and just keep up the pace and grapple. Whereas Montel can take him down, or he could just strike him with the 9-inch reach advantage. So, you know, if Jackson can get takedowns he's used to on Barcelos, and even stand up and beat him with the strikes, you know, and beat Barcelos on the feet, I think this is just going to be an easy night for Montel Jackson. You know, if the KO is there, he can get the KO, but, you know, the safer bet would be the decision. But in this fight, I'm going to go with Montel Jackson, just because, again, he's a wrestler, just like Barcelos. You know, he's not scared to go to the ground, and I think he's going to, you know, throw twice as many strikes than Barcelos and tee him up on the feet. So give me Montel Jackson to get the W.
On the pipe. Whoa! One and done, and he's out! That'll get you in the top 15!
Next fight, we got Davy Grant versus Juan Luana. Grant is 40 years old. Yes, he's on a losing streak. And Luana, you know, he's fresh, he's hungry. He looked amazing. He had an all-out war on Dana White Contender Series, and he looked great. But this is a veteran versus a prospect, and I got to go with Davy Grant. I just think his UFC experience, his veteran IQ, I think Davy Grant's just gonna, you know, since he's on a losing streak, he's gonna fight smarter. Whereas Juan Luana, you know, he might crack Davy Grant going for the kill, and I think Grant could get him with a wild, you know, KO, or even sub him if they're on the ground. But if not, you know, I could just see Davy Grant using his IQ experience. And maybe I'm wrong on this one, but I got to go with Davy Grant. So give me Davy Grant to get the job done.
Oh! Wow! Down and out! Oh my goodness! Dangerous! Davy Grant does it again!
Next fight, we got Rafa Garcia versus Alexander Hernandez. You know, Hernandez, he's aggressive, KO style. And then you got Garcia with his elite submission game, which again, you know, I think it's like the perfect counter for a KO style. You know, Hernandez likes to brawl, and Garcia loves to catch aggressiveness fighters and just drag them to the mat and, you know, wear and tear on them on the ground and just drown them in the deep water. And again, I think, you know, with the whole KO aggressiveness, if Garcia can avoid the first round, I think that's when he's, you know, Alexander Hernandez is the most dangerous. If he gets past first round and doesn't get KO'd by Alexander Hernandez, then I got to go with Rafa Garcia to get the job done, just because his grappling is going to take over. My ear itches, but that's just where Rafa Garcia is, you know, is going to take over. Goes past round 1, I give 2 and 3 to Rafa Garcia.
How about that? But now more elbows. He's still in it. It's not over yet. Oh, there it is. Rafa Garcia with the biggest win.
So the next fight of the night, Norma Dumont versus Jocelyn Edwards. Listen to this, guys. Norma Dumont, she's a ranked 3 in bantamweight. But the weakness is that I see is she has a 0% KO rate. She has not KO'd anyone. And to me, I just don't like that. That does not help me with picking her. You know, she usually wins by just grinding out the fights and going to a decision. With that being said, against a finisher like Edwards, I just don't know if she could grind out against Jocelyn Edwards, who Jocelyn has 8 KOs, and again, she's gonna have a power, you know, with her hands, more power advantage with strikes and possibly KOing her. So I gotta go with Jocelyn Edwards to where she can just beat up on her more aggressively. She'll be going for those KOs. Again, I think Jocelyn's ranked higher than the top 10. So, you know, I feel like she's going to be more hungrier, coming at a number 3 ranked fighter in bantamweight. So I just think, you know, if Norma gets in trouble, she's going to try to grind this out and just go get a decision, whereas Jocelyn Edwards is going to be trying to take her head off. So give me Jocelyn Edwards. And she's an underdog, so give me Jocelyn Edwards to win the fight. And the main event, ladies and gentlemen, Aljamain Sterling versus Youssef Zalal. Both fighters are almost the same IQ level with the grappling and the wrestling. You know, Aljamain, though, he's a former champion. He's been in, you know, a 5-round fight plenty of times. He's been there, you know, he's fought in deep wars and deep waters. And again, I just think with them having the same IQ, I just don't think, you know, Youssef has ever fought anyone like Aljamain with his wrestling and the eliteness. I think, again, this is Youssef's first 5-round fight, whereas Aljamain has been there. And again, I just think this is going to be one of those things where there's levels to wrestling, and Aljamain's going to put on a clinic. I think if he can hold Youssef down, it's just going to be a long night, and he's just going to wrestle, break him down, flatten him out, and just keep pounding away. Youssef is going to hope to strike him on the feet and stuff the takedowns and possibly put him out of there with the KO. But again, I just don't see that. So I got to go with the former champion, Aljamain Sterling, to win the fight.
Sanhagen.
He's got to be careful here. Yeah. Now he's in trouble.
He's under the chin.
Now it's tight.
He's under. He's under.
Joe, it's over. He's going to sleep.
He's going to go to sleep.
Yep, he's going to go to sleep.
Come on. Put him out.
He's going to tap.
Oh,